Bakua is celebrating a very special anniversary.
It's a special day. It's a milestone for her and many others who are battling breast cancer.
That's right, guys. 10 years today. Woo! For cancer survivors, no matter if it's breast cancer, whatever cancer, 5, 10, 15, 20, those that have been diagnosed most recently look to those that have years of life ahead. So I wanted to encourage those that are watching at home, too, that you got to become friends with other survivors because we know what you're talking about. Take a look.
I was in shock.
Frightened, angry.
Survivors recalling how they felt after they got the news. 41-year-old Kelly Cox was recently diagnosed. It took her a couple of weeks for all of this to set in.
I have breast cancer. This is happening to me.
Rachel Carter is a 1-year survivor.
Because when you're alone with your fear, it's just so big and so overwhelming.
They found Save Ourselves, a support group led by Cass Brown Capel. She says no one should face breast cancer alone.
We feel all alone. We feel helpless. We feel hopeless. We don't know if we can trust our medical providers. We need to connect with one another to see what other information is out there.
Being among other survivors allows these women to feel, quote, normal.
It's okay to be scared, and it's okay to have anxiety. It's okay to have anxiety attacks. It's okay to triple wash our lettuce and white vinegar and lemon juice every time.
Group meetings are available twice a month for women to support one another, get resources, and express themselves.
But when you're in a room with people who are living lives and not stopping because of this, you just see how you can do it.
Two-time breast cancer survivor Julie Oback says, let others help.
Being alone, you're in your own thoughts. You might think it's a death sentence, whereas talking to a group of women who've already had it, it's very life-affirming.
There's a sense of belonging.
So being here is like, these are my people. I'm one of them now. Instead of seeing it from, oh, those people have breast cancer. It's like, no, that's me. That's my group. Those are my people.
In just a few months, Kelly says breast cancer has changed her, and she feels more grateful.
And that week after chemo, I'm just, but then I found myself, I'm in my car and the sun is shining, and I'm just appreciating those things so much more than I ever did. So it's changing me in that way.
There you go. So hopefully that was very inspirational to those that have been recently diagnosed, like she. And thank you to all the survivors. Raise your hand again if you're a survivor. These are my survivor pals and my close friends. Raise your hands, close friends that have been there since the beginning, including Nancy Mallory, who knighted me in a field, right?
It's true.
What did you do?
Well, you reached out to me after the diagnosis, and
we had lunch the day I got diagnosed, and I was just like, right?
That's right. And you were panicked, and I was somewhat panicked in terms of how could I be a resource to you. I knew you needed a friend, but you needed information. I think what you needed was the hope and to know that everything was going to be okay. And I was new to the breast cancer world, having recently connected with Komen and seeing what a resource it was, not so much the organization, but just the women that empowered one another. And I wanted to be that person for you. So what I did was someone that I knew, which was Sonia, that had just recently gone through it. And Sonia is just a wealth of information. First and foremost, she's a wonderful friend, and I knew she would be a friend to you, but I knew that she would get you to the resources that you needed. So I passed you to Sonia. And I was there for you too, of course. Yes. I didn't pass you off, but I said, Sonia, please help as well.
Right. And you did. And so if you can tell anybody that's watching right now, or someone that's just going through it for the very first time and dealing with this, they're just maybe a few months in, what would you say?
I would say, first, you're not alone. I would say, also, don't really look on the internet. Yeah. Reach out to people that have gone through it before, because we all understand. We've been there. We understand what it's like to get that diagnosis and what it's like to be pushed on the other side of a line that you feel you can't cross back over. And it takes a little while until you get to know people, but all of a sudden it's like a sorority. Yeah. And it's a sisterhood of support.
And thank you to my sisters. And Cindy Love, I can't wait for you to start your new foundation. I cannot wait for that. Anyway, thank you so much. Enjoy the food. Thanks again to my friend Danny who brought the food in. And thanks to you, my loves, because you guys were there too in the beginning when I shared my journey. Thank you.
It's amazing. Amazing. Yeah.
That's a tough cookie right there.
Yes.
I'll tell you that much. All right, well, coming up, we're going to meet some local high school girls